Okay, folks, here we go. This is the commentary for Hard Eyes. This is the director, Josh Ruben. Can you believe it? If you're listening to the director's commentary of Hard Eyes, you are my kind of people. You are a horror fanatic, a horror freak, a nerd even. And that's exactly my peeps. So, community, let's go for a ride through this little telescope into the world of this Valentine's Day treat with blood. I wanted to start this with a David Lynch impression going, "It is Thursday in Los Angeles. The temperature is 58 degrees. It is raining, and it is the perfect conditions to do commentary." Most people think this first image is AI, but it's not. That's just New Zealand. It really was this beautiful at whatever it was, sun up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And both of these lovely actors, including Lauren O'Hara, who's the next Amy Adams, were very sick. So, spoiler alert, once poor Lauren starts to scream, her screams would sort of get interrupted by a little cough.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
But these two hit it off right away and were just so lovely. And I had to tell Chandra Watson, our wardrobe designer, that we have to give her a very higgy look, a nice chunky sweater, ideally sunglasses on the top of her, like poofy hair, but we went with a fedora. And we got to give him that puffer vest because it's repulsive. Who wouldn't want to see a guy like that get, well, I don't want to spoil anything. It just keeps... This big shout out to Rob Lowry, our music supervisor, who scored that little tune. Such a good joke for a kiss to be interrupted by a little ringtone like that.
Could you maybe do it again? Or?
Why, yes. Let me re-propose to my fucking girlfriend so you can do your job right.
Technically, she's your fiance.
Get cute with me. Do it right this time, or I'll fucking end you. On Yelp.
Okay, cool, thanks. I'll talk to you later. I'm not even on Yelp.
Oh, here's a fun fact. So this actor, Latham Gaines, I believe his name is, operated the knife for the brief second the thing went through his eye. And I learned that little trick from Mission Impossible 3 trivia, where Tom Cruise self-operated, I believe it was like some device that went up his nose. And I was like, look, this thing's going to have to go in your fake eye, and I think you were the one who should be in control of it, and Latham did it, and it was great, even though it's like a split second. If you get an arrow through the head, your eyes got to go lazy. That's just a detail I needed. People always ask about what makes a great kill or an iconic kill. And I think it's specifics. And so the specific of some dude's eye just lolling in the back of his skull, like, what did that arrow sever? That's just felt like kind of a no-brainer. The first instance of horror hero Hard Eyes' utility belt, that extension arrow. Pretty rad. I pitched to get this gig on Valentine's Day, no joke, 2024. I walked in with my little director's treatment, and I walked the studio through what I wanted to do, and I included a utility belt and light up eyes, and they didn't look at me like I was crazy. I was like, I just want to make a horror hero, And they somehow let me, and here we are. Hard Eyes is wearing all black with a utility belt of death and an extending arrow bolt. His utility belt of which is totally my what you call it, like not fan fiction, but my like blowing out wish fulfillment.
Can't be here. What are you doing? Hey, buddy, you want to tell me what's going on? Wait, stop!
This is usually the moment when people are like, whoa, wait, what? And the audience are just like, enough? This dude is not messing around. And decal? No audience member ever shouted, and decal? Unless they were an art designer from the audience. Can you imagine? Just an audience of horror people being like, wow, the attention to detail! Like the fact that there are heart insignias on the machete, on the brass knuckle of the machete is fantastic. Just a very complimentary audience would be, you know what I mean? You actually, it's hard to tell. On a big screen, not so much. Someone clocked it recently. There are tiny hearts on the brass knuckle, on the handle of Hard Eyes' machete. Like, no stone is left unturned on the details. You'll see the Bowie knife later. There was some debate. You can hear Hard Eyes react. There was some debate as to how vocal Hard Eyes should be. And this is no unkillable supernatural person underneath this mask, this iconic mask designed by Tony Gardner. This is a person, so it's like, okay, yeah, we probably should add some yelps of pain through his little phaser effect mask. And big reveal, folks. That was me. That was me, Noise Boy Josh Ruben. I am the voice of the Hard Eyes Killer. You know what I mean? Does that mean that my life is going to change? Probably. Probably. There's me and the mic going, oh my gosh, there's the eyeball. Most of that's practical. Believe it or not. She's fine, though. No, there was we took a plate. I'd never done this before. We took a plate of the front of the wine press, and our special effects team blasted it with gunky blood-like stuff. And we also got the element of the eyeball. Thank you. Shout out to Matt Holmes, our on-set supervisor. And here is just the most gorgeous swell of my homie, Jay Wadley, our composer, just pushing our orchestra to kill there. I mean, like, it's like a kaiju-like welcome. This is how you welcome slasher, folks. A live orchestra. Outcast, this was like the first track I thought of. I was like, oh my god, we can't not start this movie without the lyrics to Happy Valentine's Day. Or just, he'll shoot an arrow through your heart. It's like, okay, all right. Okay, Outcast. Narrating the film.
Emerged on a day meant for romance to target, hunt, and brutally kill couples.
HEK seems to target cities at random, from a blood-soaked rampage.
These are all crew members. All those victims. We did a little email blast with like, are you in a relationship and would you like to volunteer your likeness? And here's our homage to Scott Wampler, my homie, R.I.P. I wish I could see Scott's reaction to this film, but S.D. Wampler is a Scott Deborah Wampler homage, and we're so proud to be one of many films that have now homaged the late and great. So here's a love story for you. My wife, Lauren Sick, shot second unit on this film, and this is some of her footage. So she was able to come down to New Zealand and honestly shoot these actors, and one of the biggest laughs of the movie, first laughs of the movie was, I'm afraid of the dark. No, I don't. Dylan, you're afraid of the dark. No, I don't. Come on, that's so funny. Anyway, Shout out to my wife, Lauren, who killed it.
Whether you're with a partner or looking for love, stay vigilant this Valentine's Day.
This is one of the first days of shooting. Was this the first day of shooting with Olivia? I don't remember, but there's our editor, Brett Bachman. I call him the secret weapon because he is. Yeah, this was like day 2 or something. Which is great because the flummoxed energy of a meet cute, the electricity was certainly in the air with these two. Honestly, these three, the love story between the amazing Gigi Zimbato, her character Monica, and Allie is just as important, just as vital as Allie and Jay's. These two hit it off like gangbusters. These two had never met. Olivia and Mason had never met. We didn't have time to do a chemistry read, and they're all tight. They're all buddies. I actually saw them last night. Why they're not here with me, I don't know. I'm by myself doing a David Lynch impression on this commentary for you. Oh my God. As they approached the coffee cup, actually, secret weapon Brett Bachman, our editor, was like, we should ratchet the cookies. We should ratchet up the music. So we rode the volume up of the music track. The closer they got to the coffee, the more we kind of raised the volume of the music, so that by the time they grabbed that cup and locked eyes, it just felt like a little climax.
Can you guys move? We're busy.
Yes.
A bubble burst by Esau, who plays our barista, who's so funny.
Hey, can I just steal one of these guys?
Oh, no, I'm okay. Thanks. Carry my own.
Chekhov straw. Sorry, I didn't want to give anything away, but you've probably seen this.
Yeah, no,
So
I totally get what you're saying. Let's put all the coffee in a plastic cup, but hey, as long as the straw is...
Oh, here's a fun story. These two, for this very moment, this was a stunt where they bonked heads. In one of the shots, they actually bonked heads. This was the stunt. And the sound of their initial head bonk, that clock, is the actual sound of Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding bonking heads, like bonking skulls. And it's just, the sound is too real. It makes the whole audience go, oh! The mini version of, like, the reaction to our Adeline getting her head burst.
And 4 couples dead in Philadelphia. The Hard-Eyes Killer has come to Seattle.
This is me just like, would this be an interesting way to show the red herring of Jay? Doing a little boom down? I don't know. Does he feel like a suspect? I have no idea.
Confirmed at this point, but given the pattern of targeting couples on Valentine's Day, we suspect it's the work of HEK.
What do you have to say to all those couples out there planning to celebrate Valentine's Day?
Stay home.
3, 2, 1. Michaela Watkins. Holy mackerel.
The squad pickle.
Michaela was vacationing in Australia when we were shooting. We still had not cast Crystal Kane. And she DM'd me because she'd seen some videos I was posting of just kind of being out and about in New Zealand. She's like, what are you doing? I want to be involved. And I was like, actually, we've yet to cast this part. It's one day. Would you want to pop over to New Zealand? Michaela Watkins popped over from Australia to do one day of shooting as Crystal Kane. And the improv we have on the floor, like the gold she pulled out of her genius brain, is so funny. I lost my mind.
Monica, thank you so much. If you could do me a huge favor,
shut the fuck up. Oh my God, she's so funny. She just came in. Steph Knight, our head of the makeup department, just gave her like a big shock of gray hair, and she went for it. And this whole campaign, this is when my wife Lauren comes back in clutch and decimates Allie's campaign. This was what Lauren shot. So she had her own DP, her own crew. She is an incredible commercial filmmaker and filmmaker in her own right. And I was like, well, you know how to make a fashion film better than I do. I was like, the only thing I want is the fabric effect from a certain film, I guess I can't say, that rhymes with the Ballanted Sister Tipley. Anyway, the fabric blood coming out. I was just like, that's the only thing I really want. Just make it feel like a Calvin Klein commercial.
What did I just watch? Straight up tacky. Someone.
This is Chris Parker, who is a New Zealand comedian who is so funny. This line kills me.
Allie, I'm worried about your safety.
That little smirk.
Gee, thanks, Tommy. How many people has this heart-shaped asshole killed?
I think, like, a lot.
She's about to throw a breakaway bull at Hannah, who's actually Olivia's stunt double. So the young lady who dodges the bull was Liv Stunty. She's amazing. Now, if you look closely, when Jay enters the room here, he is holding a little red piece of tissue. When we originally shot this film, I had him enter with bloody tissue in his nose. And the studio was like, nah, too goofy. And I was like, well, we had a woman's head explode, but okay, we'll just cut in a little bit later. But yes, he was indeed holding a little red tissue from their nose bonk. Miraculously, she didn't hurt his face. He's still beautiful. This begins the runner of a gentleman in the background staring at Jay. So you can see Chris Parker just like mouthing the word, oh my God. Oh, and there's Michael Kennedy, our co-writer.
How far up Schitt's Creek Allie here had paddled us. I knew I needed some reinforcements, and thank baby Jesus. Now, he's got to leave and push off tomorrow and skedaddle, so he's on the clock.
You got to be mindful of your transitions, and this transition with the music right on the heels of Jay's little monologue here, just to dig the dagger into Allie that he might be infringing on her stuff here at work and taking her job. We had to be very mindful of, how can we twist out of the rom-com? And we do that with this little bend in the music here. So we're sort of leaving the rom-com and moving into the horror movie right now to meet detectives Hobbs and Shaw.
We're gonna get married. I can feel it.
That's your boyfriend?
Yeah, he will be. He's an actual...
The dog yelps when she drops the phone here. You can hear him go...
You see? That's why.
Just one of many little Easter eggs, folk. You can't leave any stone unturned.
You need a real man.
There's a little bit on the cutting room floor here that we had of Devin walking and talking with Shaw, and she sees someone in the crowd of onlookers. She sees what she thinks might be Hard Eyes kind of watching the crime scene. I don't know if that deleted scene will be included, but it just it felt like it gave too much away. And we just wanted to get into the seven of it all, into the detective story a bit. So it's on the cutting room floor. There was a little walk and talk scene, which walk and talk scenes are really, really tricky. There's just a lot going on. You got your camera folks moving backwards and your actors moving. You got to land on marks. You always need like triple the runway for a walk and talk to pull a Sorkin, if you will.
What about the girl who never got asked to prom? The love-scorned woman who got cheated on one too many times and just snapped.
Oh, a jawbone. Oh, I should probably... This is an homage. This little notification on Shaw's dating app is actually a reference to my last movie. So if you know what it is, you can write to me at my name at adomain.com and tell me what you think it is.
It's the understatement of the fucking year.
How do you know for sure it's HGK?
Here we go, detective.
Because this is the last thing the wedding photographer...
I definitely thought a little bit about Jaws 2 for this shot right here. You know, when the town hall's just arguing about whether that's a shark or a potato. But it's Hard Eyes. I feel like I probably should have shot, just a long take of Hard Eyes clumsily drawing a bloody heart on the ground with their gloves on.
6 more months on your contract. I intend to squeeze every single last drop out of you.
Okay, great. So what...
This is one of the few times I saw Olivia break consistently because Michaela was just improving gold. Some of which we keep to button this little scene here.
Crystal cane campaign. And if you don't, I'll kill you. I'm kidding, I won't. I'll blacklist you, though. I won't kill you. I mean, maybe. But no. But would I?
All this stuff. Would I?
Whoever made this, I hope you get murdered and canceled, not in that order. # do better.
As someone who may die someday, I find this commercial could be tone deaf and
What's a modern movie without a toxic community board, without toxic comments on social media? You know what I mean? This is how you know this movie takes place in present day. Words like doxed and ableist. It's a modern story, folks.
Yeah?
Howdy.
Jay? This is the women's bathroom, dude. You can't be in here.
Yeah, technically, it is a unisex bathroom, but we talk. Hi.
This is one of the things I just don't love visually about this movie. And it has nothing to do with Stephen Murphy. It's just that we were limited. That's our DP, who's a genius. This bathroom was just not... Gosh, I feel like we looked at so many bathrooms, so many potties, and you need to look for, like, where can you fit the camera? Where can you fit all the people? It still was a tight squeeze. At least these two were so pretty to look at. But this bloody bathroom. My gosh. I think there's like a kitchen back there. It's a very strange location.
Oh, that's right. You probably got plans, don't you? Well, great. It'll be a great place for some field research, romance.
Do you think that maybe we could just do this tomorrow?
I would love to do tomorrow. I just have to take the first flight out in the morning for my best friend's wedding. So how about this? We'll call it 8 sharp, and I'll see you there. Yeah? I'm excited. It's gonna be great.
It looks like the rain.
Oh, thank you so much. No, Mon, let me get this. You're like $100,000 in debt.
Not anymore. Arthur paid it off, and I get to keep the card.
Are you serious? Damn. Someone likes a little sugar with their daddy.
Excuse me, Allie. I do not have a sugar daddy. That term is very problematic. I have a sponsor.
And do you love your sponsor?
Gigi steals every moment of this scene with every one of her one-liners.
So when am I going to meet this secret Hugh Hefner? Should we all get dinner soon? What do you say? Like 4:30? Soup?
Haha. Real clever, Miss Judgy Judy. Oh, you're literally stalking your ex online.
I'm not stalking him. The algorithm is stalking me.
It's the algorithm.
Hey, is Arthur Hard Eyes? Is that why I haven't met him yet?
I love this, what we do with sound design here. It's like there's the distant wail of a bus, like its brakes squeaking, and then as it hits the brakes, the hydraulics, as she laughs. We just, I don't know. Can't leave any stone unturned with sound design, folks. It's super important. It shows you care.
Breaking news. Our Channel 7 affiliate is reporting that 2 more couples have been found murdered.
Shout out to Lauren doing some more second unit. It's like, why would the news not pixelate the hand the whole time? I always get a kick out of that. There's some Easter eggs in Allie's notifications, by the way. Y'all should pause at home and go back and see what I put in there. Who knows?
I know. He just moved on so fast. I mean, what even is her job? Look at her feed. It's all vacation pics. And she doesn't even have rich parents. I checked.
Oh my God, I love that line read.
And get out there and actually find someone to actually fuck yourself, you know?
No.
Oh, what about that guy? He's so cute. The bathroom boy, you know? Your little stalker?
You mean the guy trying to take my job?
Oh my fuck. He is so hot. I could literally throw up. My basement just flooded.
Who took that, Jay? Who was on the beach with you with that perfect light?
What are you wearing on this date?
It's not a date. We're working. And what's wrong with my clothes?
You look like a before picture.
Monica, that is so mean.
Okay, this place. What's the vibe? Is it what? Fancy?
Yeah, it's fancy. Why?
Come on.
There was a debate for a long time. We went back and forth and back and forth. Is a dance montage in this Craven-esque, Efron-esque movie too much of a tonal smack in the face? Is it too much? And I kept debating, and I was like, oh, it feels like the right thing to do. I feel like we have to have it, but it just wasn't working. I think because at the tail end of this montage, on the cutting room floor, there's an homage. There was a little pep talk in the mirror where Monica's like, go have a great time tonight. But the feedback we kept getting was she tries on all these fabulous dresses, and then she ends up in this, like, kind of, formal business outfit. Not nearly as kind of banging as all these other, stylish dresses. So we found this little magical gift where Gigi said no in reaction. I think it was like the one option where I was like, just say no as if you don't like this one dress. We just got a myriad of reactions. And sure enough, we button this little montage with no. And it works. Oh, it's Chekhov's straw.
Mentally conscious.
Those big pink windows are they're a very specific homage to the movie Big with Tom Hanks. There's a scene in that film that I consider to be a rom-com in its own right, with big, beautiful pink windows that play here and obviously in the exterior of the restaurant. I was like, I want pink. I want big pink.
I'll be back with the specials once your date arrives.
Oh, no, he's not my date.
I love the metal detector here. Do you see my Craven-esque homage on the wall? Does this director like Freddy? Oh, there's another dude staring down Jay. It's always a big laugh. Like, why would that restaurant have that violent art? Well, because, I'm not subtle about Easter eggs.
So sorry that I am late. I tried to get a car. And for what it's worth, I had no idea this place.
The one time, or I guess the handful of times we rehearsed was just myself and Olivia and Mason and just this scene, because this was like, I don't know, I think the original version was 6 pages of dialogue, 5. So it's been a bit trimmed down, but it was so tricky to calibrate. You wanted to make sure he wasn't too smarmy, but that maybe she was nervous, but also she was anxious about her job, that he was also a bit business, but also trying to be nice, but also a bit confident, because we're going to earn the place where Olivia's character kind of knocks him down, takes him down a notch.
Change their depends.
I don't immediately go to poop when I think
we netted out pretty good.
I would change an adult diaper if it was in the name of love.
The perfect man.
Champagne jump scare.
Here we are.
It plays like a gunshot. It's really fun.
Thank you.
Miss?
Yeah. We don't want any. Thank you.
And for you, sir?
Here's some clutch, very subtle ADR on Allie's behalf right here. Her little
To love.
Ouch.
Okay.
Listen, this is all very cute.
Very intentional beat change with the French music too. This is where my editor Brett and I were like, okay, this is where the music is gonna turn the tenor, almost like an emotional beat change of the scene. So it's like a little playful, but we wanted it to be a bit more profound here, just to kind of affect where the conversation's going. This is like represents or buoys the rat-a-tat between these two characters.
I did not get my heart broken recently, and it's really none of your business.
Oh, you're totally right.
Definitely not.
No.
Okay.
It's just your campaign, doomed lovers.
I love what Mason does there. Like, doomed lovers. Almost like an eye roll.
Romantic stories of all time are doomed. Got husbands, wives, partners, twin flames, soulmates, whatever you want to call it. It's all going to end. It's just a matter of time before someone cheats, bails, or dies.
What about butterflies in your stomach? Lightning bolt to the heart. Cozy Sundays in bed.
What's next? Birth charts and long walks on the beach?
I like those things.
It was a real luxury to have an entire day to just do the scenes with the two of them. Bless them. Ran the thing again and again and again. First half of the day was on Liv, second half on Mace. And
not to everyone, I know that. Some people get
just to have the latitude to be able to play. And I'm just curled up, as I like to be, on the floor with my little monitor on an Apple box, just like quietly giving adjustments. You never want to be in a god mic, miles away for a scene like this, or really any scene. I love being as close to the actors as possible, but you never want to be like, and now they're more vulnerable, shouting on some microphone. They're just like, I can't hear you, and I'm on the verge of tears in this scene, and you're screaming through the PA system. I like to be real close, because especially for a scene like this, it's so delicate. If the chemistry between the two actors doesn't work in a film like this, then you're kind of dead in the water. You have to be able to follow these two. Into the Storm.
Why are you single?
Excuse me?
No, really, Mr. Romantic. Doe-eyed.
So the music track playing is trivia. My sister. This is Rachel Yamagata. She's a singer-songwriter. We have a different last name. She's got a different dad. And this is her song Backwards that just plays so well. I was determined to get her song, one of her many, many tracks in this film because she sings about, she's like kind of the breakup queen. I think it does so well, and it's a fresh track, hot off the presses, and it kind of swells here as he leaves. You'll notice one thing we did in sound design. This was Brett Bachman's idea. Here comes this secret weapon again. Every time you see Jay, pretty much from this point on, you hear sirens.
Listen, I told you it was
That's right. He's the hard ice killer. I'm telling you right now, Jay's the killer, so you can turn it off. Am I kidding? I don't know. But would I? I don't know. That's my Michaela impression. Anyway. Now, here was some debate between many folks. I love that you don't see who she's looking at, so that it's a surprise, and this payoff really works. You gotta fight for what you believe in, and I believe this reveal is way more powerful. Also, you'll notice those lights turned off, or that like little doorway light turned off in the background. Total accident, total gift. This is when the movie really starts to turn for me. Like, once they start playing together, you really start to see a sense of their chemistry. Like, they're connecting on another level. They're in a new scenario. I never said that out loud before, but it's true. They were once formal, and now they're, like, making physical contact for the first time. Their shoulders are touching. They're, like, kind of in on this play, this joke. The boyfriend's the killer, so you can just fast forward. Am I kidding? I don't know.
Ooh. What does that mean?
You know the couple that got murdered at the winery?
What, you know them?
We worked together, played racquetball.
Racquetball.
My God, so funny, these two.
Still kept the reservation.
Dinner.
Oh, of course. In their honor.
Huh.
Wow.
Well, lot to eat in there, and it's good.
We should go. See you, Ali, as well. And
This was a little surprise on the day. It was like, as you're passing each other, you should just do friendly compliments through grit teeth.
What was...
Why would he say that?
And here, Hard Eyes' view, I believe this was practical. We had this little Hard Eyes filter, this little piece of cardboard with two heart shapes. We shot through it. Ugh, Spider Simpson. These lyrics, this song is so delightfully cheesy. You're just like stuck in the back of this funky little cab. There's a lot of Greek chorusing we do in this movie, and broadcasting being in the heads. It's almost like I feel like in all these rom-coms, it's always like the universe is trying to push two people together. And so you'll notice, if you really listen to the lyrics of some of these songs and some of the circumstances for the quote-unquote rom-com of it all, the rom-com journey for Allie and Jay, this is where the universe is trying to bring them together, like, you know, Tom and Meg or something.
No, we're not a couple.
But you just kiss, no?
Oh, see, no,
This was fun to coach a New Zealand actor how to do the borderline Moscow accent. I was just like, just kind of be drunker, you know what I mean? It's fine. Don't know if Spotify paid us, but gets a big laugh, folks.
Again, I'm really sorry about...
I can't remember if that light was one of ours, but I love how it looks. It used to be a lot bigger, and we just kind of made it look a little more North Star. But here, if you listen closely, obviously a reference to one of my favorite roms, but the lyrics here, afraid of being left alone. She left him alone, guys. Aren't I a genius? God, I'm good. The lyrics are broadcasting. Ooh, here's another Easter egg, folks. Jay's address. The address of a famous character from a famous rom-com. Not the specific address, but the same, let's say, avenue. If you find it, hit me up.
Then never let her go.
Never too late for true love. See these lyrics coming in? So people laugh after that cabbie says the line in the theater. But if you're at home, you can hear all these little subtleties. Music's doing a lot here.
Oh my God, this night could not get any worse.
Have a spare hidden?
Yeah. Under a mat? Upstairs.
In the first iteration of the script, this exterior stuff with Jay Allen was way bigger. They went through this whole kind of adventure, trying to scale up the back of her building, and there was a dog, and I think the dog bit Jay's hand or her leg, or it was like they go through some kind of like big thriller hubbub, but we kind of realized it may have diluted the adventure to come. And also, animals are tough. I love how Mason delivers this line.
That's bad.
And this jump cut too. He wanted the door to be as big as possible. And now notice they don't know what's going on behind the camera. She left the door open. That's all I'm gonna say. She left the door open.
Sorry, it's so messy. I had a house cleaner, but she won the lottery last week and fired me.
Really? What's she win?
Like $1 million.
Olivia was so funny. She walked into this apartment, which I insisted be a mess. And she was like, we are too similar. I am too similar to Allie.
Oh, cute. I was Pikachu for Halloween, too.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't Halloween.
Well, what was it?
A lot of little bits of sound design in here that are really specific. You can button a joke or a rat-a-tat interaction with the grab of the frame or the sound of the squeaking boot on the floor like you just heard. She spins around, and then a little simple, a little huh, or a little nose sniff, just a little boop at the end of an interaction is always just, I don't know, the musicality is super, super important to land the humor and keep people, I don't know, interested in your movie.
I want to sit on your nice clothes. Oh.
But you relax. It's just a very expensive jacket.
Let's see your hand.
Okay.
Is that right?
No, actually.
This is Steph Knight and the makeup team just like killing it with this insert. They're like, Josh, do you like this effect? And I looked at it. They like did a little gore on one of their hands, and I was like, oh, yes, I do. Oh, God, I can't watch. They're just like, yeah, we're just putting a bit of glass in this here injury here. I'm probably just really insulting the people of New Zealand by doing a botched Australian accent. But anyway, I'm super impressed. Super impressed by this team. This is super funny. We kept this line here. She's like, would you mind helping me with the hair falling in my face? And I didn't really like go in to correct the fact that the hair isn't really in her face, but the audience giggles every time, and I suppose it's because it feels like she's fishing. She's like daring him to touch her, and that plays just as well.
Nephrology?
Now we added a little guitar bend for when we rack focus to the dild. Little. The studio was like, could we have some kind of a musical button or a jingle or a flourish when we see the dild? And I was like, oh, I think something different than the song proper would be a bit ridiculous, but what if we just added one kind of bend? So Ben Zales, our music editor, added it. That moment in theater when everybody sits up and they go, oh yeah, we're not in a rom-com. We're in a horror movie. Also.
What are you doing?
This was so exhilarating to shoot, just to see the two of them do the action together, and this was always hysterical. And the moments in the theater were like, why aren't you running? But it's also fun because you know you're in for a ride, and the music is swelling.
Hey, you good?
Yeah.
This was the first time I heard Olivia's Scream Queen scream, and it's just delightful. And I realized that kill right there, Janusz, is basically a similar kill I did in my last film, Werewolves Within. We're on the driver's side of a head smash, so I guess I can't get away from that gimmick. This brick you see on the right was a piece we brought in to location just to kind of help bridge us from her apartment into the botanical gardens, and the sign there was visual effects just to kind of broadcast. They're going into a park that's being renovated. That's a thing, right? I love how we boost some sound design here to just like infer the brutality of his weapons, the nasty head crack there. And this combo of the falling leaves and blue moonlight, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but these movies feel like in the 80s, there was always like wind. They always did great wind and great leaves, and I wish we had even more of it. But I love that. I love that texture. Of course, there's no leaves blowing around here. I think this is one of the creepier moments in the movie, but it's also when people are just laugh and they're like, "No way!" My compliment to your audience member come back and be like, "The squeak of the swing is delightfully creepy." Where you can really feel the audience and the tension, like a lot of like, "Oh my gosh, oh no." I haven't had too many of those experiences being able to hear people be scared by my movies, and this was a delight, just sitting in the audience and listening to people get freaked. This whole sequence, this was intimidating. It was a combination of practical carousel, which we had delivered and built in this park in New Zealand, and a volume stage, which I think this very shot is. So we're on a stage right now. We're in the park right now. Back on the stage. I think we're on the stage. And then we're back in the park. It's just like constant stitching. I love that animal yell Allie gives here. This probably feels the most Scream-like. This feels so craveny. This was an exhilarating night because it was just like the coordination of just the police cars rolling up and the stunt team radioing to multiple police cars. I mean, look at the background, that texture of like another car rolling up and more cops coming out. It just was like, oh man, I'm making a big movie. This is exciting.
Simmons, we were with each other all night, and we got attacked, and we got separated back there.
My favorite ads. I can't remember if I added this to the script before we went into production, or I just had this awesome actor playing the cop say this line. Seattle PD, baby, fuck yeah! It always just makes me giggle.
Incredible teamwork, huh?
Hey.
There's some more of the Hard Eyes fans out there with the homemade masks. I wish we got to see more of his fans. There's some stuff on the cutting room floor of like Hard Eyes fans, quote unquote, welcoming him to the city. Here's our famous joke, guys. Big laugh in the old audience. If you're gonna reference a movie, better land it subtly. And look at these two.
We're here to ID a murderer.
Oh my God, Jay.
And thus begins one of my most favorite scenes in the movie.
Jay, are you okay?
The two of them pulled it out so good. Mason Gooding especially.
Jay, are you okay?
No, Allie, I'm not okay. Thank you for asking. You ditched me.
It's basically their first couple fight. It's really fun to see Allie and Jay have their first fight, really, as a quote-unquote couple.
No, I also was being chased by a serial killer. What the fuck does that mean?
Jay, you're tall and ripped and perfectly capable of defending yourself.
Allie, I really appreciate the compliments, especially coming from you, but right now is not the time, okay? These muscles were not made for violence, they're for cuddling.
Okay.
Guys, this
Oh my gosh. These muscles were not meant for violence, they're for cuddling. There's something very nostalgic about looking at these two horror icons, Devin and Jordana, with this blue moonlight and the sirens. I just feel like, oh my gosh, who am I? Josh Craven? I mean, my goodness, I feel like I'm back in 1997 in the best way.
What?
We're gonna have to.
This call and response here, Mason reacting to the police, was a late sound design ad. And it gets a big laugh. You can't leave any stone unturned with sound design.
What is this?
That's a ring.
So as I'm curled up on my little Apple box with my little monitor in this little interrogation room, which is one of the many sets on our big stage in New Zealand, just encouraging the actors to like keep it natural and put the dialogue in their own words. And that's how you get this nice natural interaction between these two.
Yes, sir.
A, I am not married. B, why would I leave a wedding band at the scene of the crime? And C, who gets their own initials engraved in their own fucking wedding band? Also, D, yes, that was sarcasm.
Take 5. Go. Hold down.
This was a happy accident. Devin didn't know that this glass was as see-through as it was. He was like, I'll just stand there. And the way that I laughed when I saw that this glass was translucent and that his face, his stoic face, was that clear.
I am fine. Thank you.
Through that glass, I just cackled. And I was like, oh my God. Well, that's a happy gift. You got to be open to just, going with the flow. And that was hysterical. That really got me.
I want you to look me in the eyes.
For some reason, probably because I thought I was being cool, we have 2 split diopter shots on the cutting room floor of this coverage, and it just didn't work. But there's fun kind of, I don't know, Frankenheimer-esque imagery of the two of these folks with one head larger in the foreground. It would have played more for Mason to imply that Jay was a suspect, but it just didn't really work. It looked cool. We just did a round of coverage just for this profile stuff of them sitting at the table for a couple lines, and it was not nearly as important as this dynamic of Shaw fishing. And the debate is whether or not Shaw is actually flustered or if she's playing with him to try and get him to confess. You'll have to see the movie to find out. Have you?
I already told you they're interrogating the suspect.
And I already told you they're interrogating the wrong guy. Can you please just go back there and give me some sort of information?
Sorry, Frank.
Now, this might be the moment where you go, okay, why are you giving this guy a moment? Obviously, that's a red herring. He's probably the killer. I got news for you. That's not. That's just an IT guy.
Excuse me?
Female dog.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Can you please go back there now and give me some sort of update? Thank you.
Hey, do we know each other?
No, I don't think so.
Bumble.
Yeah, no, I'm not on the apps.
Yo's on. This dude rules. Just such a sweet person, local actor, based in New Zealand, and this line kills me.
I almost got murdered tonight.
I am so sorry.
I am so sorry.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. Have a good night.
Thank you. Where's everybody?
Celebrating. They caught Hard Ice.
You'll notice the little radio play happening in the background, the little radio program the cop was listening to. That's a late ad, and it's going to come into play in a significant way soon.
Not a serial killer. So there's that.
Were you in Boston in February of 23 and Philadelphia in February of 24? Let me rephrase. You were in Boston and Philly. Same dates and locations as HEK's 2 prior killing sprees. Jay, I gotta admit, that doesn't look very good.
I don't know what you want me to say. I'm a freelancer, so yeah, I travel for like work.
Do you ever get lonely on the road?
I love this chillest. That's what Jay Wadley, our composer, taught me. This teasing little instrument. And when you're doing sensitive shots like this, looking down an actress's shirt, what I did was give Jordana my monitor so that she was in control of her position. And I was like, I'm dope. I'm so cool. But she was very appreciative of that. So I was like, Jordana, let's do it as many times as you want. I'm just going to turn around.
Hello?
Sound design. Bush.
Detective, we got an HWW out front. What do you want?
Tried to jump scare folks a little bit with that door. A lot of loud door openings in this movie.
We're not done yet.
I'll be here.
Now, if you look closely, you can see just a hint of Hard Eyes' mask in, I believe it's the next shot of the closet. Once Allie returns. I mean, I'd grab a flag, you know. I think you can just catch a hint. You look real close. If not that shot. It's this one. It's one or the other. Maybe it is this one. I don't know. You'll have to turn up your brightness. Nope, it's the previous one. So this is when this kind of late ad radio program with these two actors we were working with just did a bit of voiceover, and I think the radio show could kind of become a horror-like narration and increase the dread and tension. And I think we did that.
After him, you're not a couple. I don't know. I assume he saw us and thought we were together.
My hunch is that folks will watch Hard Eyes at home, just as you are now, kind human, and pick up on a lot of Easter eggs that in the theater got bulldozed by the cackling, the enthusiastic laughter of this just totally comedically, horrifically genius film.
I get it.
But there are many, many little Easter eggs, many, many little sounds. I'm going to give a spoilerish one away in just a moment.
In him romantically. Why is that relevant? Just girl talk.
I love that, given where this movie's going, we placed Officer Fran in front of those three silhouettes back there with the American flag. My director buddy Rob Savage is really good at this, like with his last film, just like in Carpenter too, just drawing your eye to the background and just kind of making you feel a bit unsettled. So listen to the sound of Jordana's boots, of Shaw's boots here.
You know. Watch her.
We gave her boots the same treatment of the killer. Am I giving anything away? Well, you made it this far.
I'm sorry, I'm just scared. No, careful! He hopped in closets!
Normally he'd be right behind the door, but you gotta make people wait for it a little bit longer. The stunt was so fun to shoot. I love this this top shot of Fran, just kind of going, that one. Ugh. She was so good. And here's the moment everybody's been waiting for. Practical LEDs, operated by yours truly, built by, I believe his name is Eric Beck, with Alterian, with Tony Gardner and Brian Christensen's company. This was practical. The sequence is the only time we were going to utilize the night vision, because the studio was like, maybe we don't want to overdo it. But then we added this one because it looks so cool. And then the following shot when Hard Eyes busts out these doors, because it looks so rad. He kept kind of adding his night vision eyes to every shot because it just looked so good. And our VFX vendor, Crafty Apes, did such a good job. I love this line Devin kills.
Don't worry, lover boy. I'll protect you.
No.
So when we were just doing the sound mix, we have these kind of ghostly yells as Jay is exclaiming from the interrogation room, getting further and further away from Hobbs as he's moving into the labyrinth of death here, shouting for Shaw. And I can't remember if it was Brett Bachman or one of the sound designers who was like, let's infer that little look back. Let's catalyze that look back by just pushing one of Jay's yelps. And it works so well. Just it's such a subtle difference that I love. It's just Devin kind of doing his own thing, but we just gave him some motivation here. This is yours truly going. A little seagull from my dropout homies. There you go. Now that's a VFX shot. I don't know why this image always reminds me of Poltergeist, one of my favorite horror movies. I guess it's just that kind of lightning-like effect of the lights in the hall, but I love how quiet it gets in here. This is one of the most unsettling moments of the movie for me. Just that brief bit of silence when Allie's just in front of the window there. And it took a bit of calibrating, but I wanted to make just a jump scare out of that initial sound. And we could justify it by Jay's kind of like grunt as he's yanking at the chain to draw her head into the room. Now, we played with seeing a scene where Allie pulled a gun out of Hobbs's rigor mortis hand, but it actually diluted a bit of tension, so we ended up putting that on the cutting room floor and staying with Jay, assuming that maybe Allie came to the door, but of course, through that translucent glass, we see that it is very much not Jay. And this was something Brett and I talked about that we had a lot of fun playing with. I love this sound that the blade makes on the table, but that we're treating it like Jay is about to die. Suddenly the dread is just like drenching the movie right now. Like there's just no way out of this. This is bad. But Mason Gooding is really dodging that machete there. I think this was the rubber one, of course. This is my reference to The Fugitive. Don't know if I can say that, but hell yeah. Allie, it's really not that hard. And here was a surprise. This was one thing we just added. I was like, wait a minute, you should totally fall. She can't be that good at it. So that was Olivia's stunt double, Hannah, doing the initial jump. And then Olivia was waiting on the ground on the other side. The old Texas switch, folks. And our one major set accident, luckily everybody was okay, is right here. Poor Mason actually knocked into that glass, made it out just fine, unscathed-ish, and continued with the scene like a sport. A happy, happy accident. Thank goodness.
Kill somebody else.
So Hardest is actually moving through the door that was actually busted that we didn't plan on busting, and it looks great. Now, folks think I am so smart, like truly such a genius, for elevating this film with His Girl Friday. This was a late ad, and I probably, by the time you hear this, I probably haven't seen it yet. I'm sure it's great.
You kidding?
This was fun ADR. Fordyce realizing the buffet of death in front of him. I don't like that. This is me.
I don't like that.
Yeah. It gets a big laugh, folks. I do voices, no big deal. And also voice this little boy. This was a new ad, this kill right here. So we just had Steve McQuillan stunty put some blood in his mouth, Savini style, and just spit it out. So no one had to worry about adding a wound or anything. It's just wait there with the blood in your mouth and just kind of mime the stab. And look, it looks great. Gets a big reaction. we're treating Hard Eyes a lot like the shark at the beach right now. In Jaws, just, his head is the fin through the waves of the car, and they are trying to get away from him. Why any normal human being would yeah, let's just go in this quote-unquote vacant van. I don't know, but they're desperate.
Fucking shootout!
Now, these two, Ruby Pledge and Sol Maxwell, are actors who we auditioned together. We auditioned some couples to play the hippies. We auditioned individuals and teamed individuals up. And Ruby and Sol knew each other from, I think they went to school together, maybe acting school. But there was already a great chemistry there, and they did this kind of brown acid dynamic so well. Such an unsettling image. I love that in front of the black and white. Makes me want to make a black and white variant action figure. Who's listening? I'd buy it. Now, all the sounds you're hearing of the hippies doing it, bumping around in the background, this was all a late ad. So we actually had a test screening. One of the first eyes on the movie was my buddy Zelda Williams, who came in, brilliant filmmaker behind Lisa Frankenstein. And she's like, these two characters are running all night. You have such propulsive energy and such action. And then they just get into a van and sort of monologue at each other. You have a couple in the back. They should be fucking. I was like, oh my God, you're right. We have the opportunity to make this Greek chorus of sex in the back of the van. To not only hear them doing it, but also to react to Allie and Jay's dialogue. And so when Allie's saying things like, I did ditch you, you hear someone in the back going, oh no.
Literally perfect together.
When she mentions her father dying, you just hear a big cacophony of thumps and glass. And our team at down in Wellington at Park Road added incredible details like tearing clothes and a dog toy and jingling chains, and it just makes the whole scene so much better. And I love that it starts so subtle, that the sounds are subtle at first, they're there, then they kind of die down, and then we let these two kind of open up to each other, get vulnerable, and then you start to hear just like a spitting sound and a dog toy and a bottle falling down and then thumping. I love this call and response.
Only to have my heart broken over and over and over.
Sorry guys, that's a queef. Sorry, I said it. That's a farty kind of queefy sound. I apologize. That's more. Sorry. But you know what? People are laughing so much by that point that.
Mom and Dad.
So if you're home and you hear it, that is what you think it is. Well, it's one or the other. But anyway, the way that we laugh. Guys, I hid a fart in my movie. I hid a fart, maybe a queef. I hid a fart in my movie, y'all, in my studio film. Will they ever hire me again? I don't know. Find out at joshruben.com/ Is he broke?
Ditto. Baby, you're so wet.
And then with the famous line. I love Mason's reaction here. I just had to coach him to just be paralyzed. And he nailed it. It's so fun to play with this tonally that we do this with music just a bit and sound design. But that what was once funny a moment ago now turns dreadful. They're like, wait, something really bad's going to happen. There's something just feels very Wes Craven about this to me. It's like, oh God, what is going to happen? Oh Lord. And this is where Ruby Pledge gets to share her famous screen with the world. And you hear Saul go, I'm coming! I love her scream. And the screams of the audience for that very, very moment. Just wonderful. Now, moviegoer number 2 is probably the biggest moment of the film. And there he is. Not me, but someone who looks like me. No, it's me. You had to do a little Saving Private Ryan there. Just splatter the old... This is probably my proudest filmmaking moment, doing this sequence, shooting this sequence, taking it piece by piece over the course of 5 days, where miraculously we had very little rain. Discovering stuff along the way, like how the camera moves one way and then that guy infers movement. Mark Black, a stunty who got behind the wheel of the car. You'll notice the Easter egg of these two girls were actually in the newscast at the beginning of the film. So these are the two girls who were like, fuck Valentine's Day. Maddie and Kaylin. I love what Jay Wadley's doing here with the score. It's so beautiful. In tune with this, in concert with that dolly move. Now, people always laugh at this moment. I get all choked up. I think they're laughing because Mason is basically us. He's like, what are you talking about, girl? We need to get the fuck out of here. But I think this is very sweet. She's like, this is a team. When I was coaching them through this scene, I would always get choked up and just kind of imagining her desperately holding her hand out to him. People in the audience are like, what? This is us painting the Seattle needle over the Auckland needle. And I had to add some sparks. I was like, thank God we had string lights back there. Maybe we can justify adding sparks shooting between our loved ones. And thank God we got this song. I've wanted to use Please Don't Go in a movie for so long. Jump cut. I can't remember who thought of Hey Fuck Eyes. I think it was Michael Kennedy. He was on set with us. But it just made me laugh so hard. It was like, absolutely call him Fuck Eyes. Chekhov's straw.
I have this.
We added a little, like, knife shing there, and I just, that gets me. Just tickles me. Our kaiju-esque flourish as our Jason in Manhattan slasher approaches. And here comes one of my most favorite moments of the movie.
What?
Sort of treated this like a sex scene and a moment of inspiration, a pep talk. There's like defending your life-esque score swelling as they're pulling a tire iron out of this prosthetic, and it just gives me delight. Just hearing everybody cringe and scream and laugh is just a treat. Now, the silhouette on the movie screen, which is mostly practical, is actually the silhouette of Vinnie Bennett, who plays the third killer in the film. So his body type is technically different than Alex McCall, who is playing the other killers. So just a little Easter egg. We had him all suited up. I can't not do one of these head wound shots in a movie. I did the same thing with Michaela Watkins, but this was very practical. Blood tears, just so fun. And I love this yell Mason does here. And if you listen closely, not at the car alarm, but at the kind of dinosaur yell here.
Thanks a lot, Jay.
What?
You got it in my mouth.
I just saved your life.
Oh my God.
I love this couple argument they're having right here. It's like, I just saved your life. Oh, you gotta have your final girl throw up on a slasher. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's not a Josh Ruben film. But anyway.
It was not good with blood.
Yeah, no kidding.
And there's Vinnie Bennett, who does have some speaking roles that a speaking moment, I should say, on the cutting room floor at the bar where folks in town welcome Hard Eyes to Seattle.
No idea.
His twisted fans. But alas, it worked. It was more profound to have him be this sort of mystery. This here is Jackie Drew playing our paramedic. She was our dialect coach for the locals. She's an American. I think I want to say she's an improviser. She is so funny, and I gave the character of this paramedic the detail of squeaky boots. She did this awkwardness so good, and then you just hear schwank, schwank, schwank. I love that it gets a laugh. I love that it's super subtle.
I'll come back to my hotel and try and crack this campaign before my flight.
This was a tough scene because
Some dinner.
we needed to justify Allie pushing Jay away, but we didn't necessarily have her on camera saying, Jay, I can't. It was a different version of the scene that just wasn't landing. People weren't really attaching to why she was saying what she was saying, or they weren't hearing or feeling her rejection, her pushing Jay away. And so we kind of had to patch this. I think it works. We were like super concerned we'd have to do a reshoot just of the two of them sitting on the back of a ambulance somewhere, and thank goodness it works.
Your chariot awaits.
Okay. Work call later?
Sounds like a plan.
I love that the paramedics just around. Here come our squeaky boots.
You got you, dude.
Okay. Can I see that? That's me.
Your chariot awaits.
She's not my type.
You gotta have David Gray. You gotta reference The Girl Next Door, right? I've never seen it, but you gotta have David Gray. This was many, many different songs. I knew I wanted this tune in the movie. Oh, this moment makes me laugh so hard. She just throws the blankets in the back of the van, back of the ambulance. But like David Gray is just so evocative of the era we were sort of going for. It's like you'd hear this in a Nancy Meyers or an Efron-esque film. Shout out to Gary Barber, who was like, you gotta know how she got a ride home. Do you need a ride? That's Lana Wolverton, our one of our editors. And I love this detail. I was actually playing David Gray for this shot right here. I love the detail that she hangs her bloody shirt in the knife hole on the door back at home. It's like, would you go back home?
Feeling like you can't go.
Hey.
Do you have something you want to tell me?
Oh, you're never going to believe what happened.
Hello, Harlan's? Are you kidding me?
Now, poor Gigi Zimbato. It's so funny. She was truly in a rom-com. She had no horror interaction in this film whatsoever. So as far as Gigi was concerned, she's like, I'm shooting a rom-com. I'm not doing any horror stuff whatsoever. We had to shoot this scene with poor Gigi in the back of this limo on our stage, which was awesome. This is like not on a road or anything. And we had like all of, 15 minutes to do it. And Gigi and I don't want to use the word conspired, but we planned to do not just what was scripted, but also do this, I'll say it now, famous monologue comprised of movie titles. So she memorized the script as is, and I said, I want you to memorize this other monologue. And when she nailed it the first time, I was like, okay, do the other one. She's like, I'm ready. So she knocked out this other one. Everybody on set was like, whoa! Clapping, loving it.
Get him. Go get that beautiful melanin man, okay?
I'm so glad we did it. Go get that melanin man. You're beautiful. And this is my kind of homage to Defending Your Life, one of my favorite rom-coms of all time. Can't be a rom-com without being a little genre. Along with this little Easter egg to my first film, Scare Me, Fanny's Revenge, even though it should be Fred's. This just feels so delightfully sugary, sweet, and dumb. Not just that there are palm trees at Seattle Airport, but like, that's not how you find someone at the airport. You don't just shout for them. But I just love that she's like kind of a jerk, knocking people over and just shouting like a walking ruckus. But it just works. You're getting the feels, but you're also like kind of giggling and can't help it.
Sorry.
Red, violets are black. Guess who's with me? This is not me auditioning, guys. This was me. This is yours truly. Like, I'm just trying to get into a horror convention. We've met before. Forget me not. And then Brett Bachman put this little quasar over my voice. Anyway, I really liked the vocal modulator in Ron Howard's Ransom. I know it's obscure, but I told Jordana Brewster, she was like, "What movies should I watch?" And I was like, "Watch Ransom, if for anything, Gary Sinise's performance, and Batman Returns. Watch Selena Kyle. Watch Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, and watch Gary Sinise as Jimmy Shaker. I don't know if I can use any of that stuff, but my incredible producer Chris Landon is like, "Do we have to hold on her this long?" And I was like, "I needed her to get the scarf off." It just makes me giggle. This always makes me think of Tales from the Crypt. My favorite. If you look closely, Rob Bavin, our brilliant production designer, along with this incredible production team, drew these dope heart eyes with these like stitched smiles all over the wall in like blood and wax. And so you just get the sense she's walking into this hive. So the references I gave the production team was like True Detective and Tales from the Crypt, and they nailed it.
Is it?
Oh my god, it is Yozen. I lied.
It's me. David.
I love subverting the scream reveal of it all.
The IT guy.
She has no idea who this dude is.
Eli. Poor, stupid Eli.
You guys were a couple?
Couple? No. Thruple.
Love looks with eyes wide open.
Oh my god, it was you?
Seeking what the heart desires the most.
I think one of my proudest moments releasing this movie to the world is that people legitimately didn't think it was Jordana. They all thought it was David. They all thought it was Yozen. But a lot of people were like, "Wait, what? It was the cop?" And I feel like in most of these movies, it usually is the cop, or it has been the cop. I mean, it certainly was Jimmy Shaker. But I love that folks didn't know. I love that she's the alpha in the relationship between these two.
I didn't really take you for the.
I love that this whole thing, this reveal, was that they're not love scorned. This is their kink. It turns them on to kill couples. And I don't know. I think it's really smart. Some people are like, "How could you?" I'm like, "No, dude, this is good. It's good and it's interesting and it's weird. And that's super fun." Now, this footage here, we didn't know if we would be able to use it. I shot it in a rush. Obviously, she's the killer, but we still took all of this not knowing if we were going to use it because they're in on it. But I love that we got to use it for this kind of exposition as to who and what they are and why they do what they do.
Wasted your boyfriend at the drive-in.
Oh, he wasn't a boyfriend.
No, Eli was just a stupid
He
fanboy.
was obsessed with us.
He was obsessed with me.
Learned a lot from me.
I love that these two are playful with each other, and folks seem to really appreciate that this was a late ad, this kind of exposition through jump cuts, the reveal of the whodunit of it all.
And I had a blast wasting those vile dickheads.
But I love their dynamic, and I love that you get to revisit some of the kills. It feels very satisfying for the moviegoers, which is just, it's lovely to hear. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's nice to know what happened and how."
Your initials match.
J. Shaw.
Janine Shaw, bitch. Why us? We're not even a couple. Just let him go. Let him go. Truth be told, we were going to kill the other couple at the restaurant. Then.
This is Brett Bachman coming in with a fun addition. He was like, "I imagine this kind of giallo, goblin, rock and roll image of this montage of their motives ending with this animated heart around the two of them, and I was like, oh my god, that's genius. You always want an editor who's going to push you creatively and otherwise, and I was like, I'm super into that. Here's me finally getting to use my diopter.
Pick it up. Pick it up.
But what Brett did, just kind of pitching that end, really spruced up what was ultimately just me, like, I don't know, at the end of this shoot, because this was shot at the end of production. You know, just putting up a couple cameras and just shooting our denouement, our monologuing villains, and just trying to make it as interesting as possible. But it's really brought so much levity. This montage really helped. It just spruced it up so much. I always knew where it was going and how I was going to chip away at it filmically, like that we would end nice and close on Olivia here. But getting here was always like, I mean, I guess I'll just spray it down with some truck-ins, you know, just get the coverage. Try not to overwork actors if I don't have to.
Convinced it would destroy me.
All of this was just to get to everything we were spraying down of all this dialogue was just to get to this dope monologue. Olivia just nailed it.
I want the storybook thing. It was just one single night. But I felt hard for you, Jay.
No, don't do that. No. Hey. No.
Forgive me.
I love that David doesn't quite see that his partner has been shot. Until right now. Yosin actually slipped. He was totally fine and just followed through with it. And I was like, we need that. That's a gift. I love the detail that David slips. He's just so frustrated, all rage.
Did you mean what you said?
Something about where all of this goes, it just feels very like Hellraiser to me. Just all the imagery, it just... There were some like magical moments on set where you're shooting something and you're something just unlocks in your brain. You're like, whoa, that feels like some Richard Donner episode of Tales from the Crypt that I watched in 1991. And holy mackerel, I must be doing something right, or just, I don't know, it really lit me up.
Hey, come on. Look at her go.
Love the detail of Jordana's ADR here cackling at her. And there's that arrow that extends violently. The detail of that injury is just is such a treat. It's why people freak out in a good way. Now, I wonder if folks watched him fall down and get covered in wax thinking, well, he's not dead. He's definitely going to come back. Or were people super invested in the present? You know what I mean? And the fact that now we got other fish to fry. We got Shaw here.
You watching, Jay? I want you to see her die.
I also love that folks in the audience are going, wait, what? Straw. This is like building momentum of whispers that grow to a, yeah, and then the claps inevitably that happen by the time we reveal that Allie has her straw. It's like, she's not going to leave her house without her straw, so there it is. And this is my most Raimi moment. I was super proud. We were like, the stunt's going to be a little dangerous, so why don't we just put them on a dolly and just get like as Raimi as possible. So these shots I'm super proud of. It just feels very, very Sam. And again, with like how to do great kills or memorable kills, it's all details. Like, love the idea she's got a straw jutting up into her head, wrecking her eye, which is turning red, and now she's got a sword through the center of her throat, which I haven't seen before in her. She is decapitating herself with her own body weight. She's like barely on her tiptoes, slipping on the blood below her. I don't know how we got to this place, this detail, but I really, really am so pleased with this. This scene was about twice as long, but people still clap. So maybe for the director's cut, I'll really make those who are squeamish absolutely freak.
Your day fucking sucks.
I love that Olivia just stared at Shaw. I love that Allie just like stares at Shaw after she's had so much of a blood thing. Now she's just like, she can't tear her eyes away. She like wants to watch this villain fall apart.
Over your fear of blood.
There he is. Oreos and covered in wax and prosthetics. He killed it. I was just like, can you just kind of Cape Fear it? Just be Chucky rushing out of the fire. Scream as wildly as you possibly can. He nailed it.
Planet saved.
Planet saved.
The mask was left at the crime scene. Who could possibly grab it if there's a sequel?
Now, if you told me that a year
Still
ago, I'd be drinking.
the same single day we worked with Michaela. So this was truly at the end of the day and we had no more light. Thank God. We're just like, let's just make it a night scene. It's a party at the office. This is like the last hour we had Michaela, who was just like decimating it. A long, long day. Shout out again to Rosie and Rob Bavin and the whole production design team for just like decimating this conference room. I just love what they did. They really just made it so beautiful and feel like the end of a Nancy Myers in the best way.
To success!
Success.
Wait. To love.
So here's an exclusive. Originally, this movie was going to end with them proposing in the conference room in front of all of their coworkers. And it was my wife, it was Lauren, I believe it was when we were in New Zealand, who was like, they should do the proposal at the drive-in. You're already going to be at the drive-in. You're already going to do the paramedic thing at the drive-in. What if they proposed at the drive-in? It's like a full circle moment. And I pitched it, and I'm so, so happy that Lauren had that epiphany. Me taking credit for it. Look what I thought of. But it just brings so much scope to the finale here, and I'm so, so happy with it. This beautiful, beautiful imagery. It just goes such a long way and just gives it scope and scale and makes it feel more full and more, I don't know, romantically delightful.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, no, I
Feels like The Notebook. You know what I mean?
No, I don't want a key. I don't want a key.
This was also a late ad too. This was a brilliant concept by Christopher Landon, who was like, let's psych people out and make people think we're going to end the movie on a shot of a key. But here is a true full circle moment. Here's Allie, who the whole movie is like pushing love away and resistant to it. Love is a farce. And now she's like running towards it. It just gets me every time. I love that you can see Mason tearing up here. It's just, these two were so tuned in. The wind was doing its thing. No wind machine. It was just cold and windy.
Yeah.
Yes, a million fucking times. Yeah.
It's no starships, nothing's gonna stop us now, but boy, do the Shirelles really decimate. Shout out to Filmography to these dope end credits. This font really is just a delight. We workshopped this and workshopped this, just the timing of this second heart, and just love it. Oh my God, Mom, I hope you're watching. That's me. Well, if you're at home, I hope you stuck through it. I think this was a good time. Will you have what I'm having? No, but for real, it was just a treat. Oh, Stephen Murphy, my homie in Blue Moonlight, and Rob Bavin, who took every reference, and the secret weapon himself, Brett Bachman. Oh my gosh, am I just really gonna go through everyone? Chandra Watson designing the look of this killer's costume, and Jay Wadley, my brother from another mother. Rob Lowry, who got us all these tracks. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, for listening. Brilliant Mary Vernew and Brett Howe. Oh my gosh, who brought this cast together? Genius. Scene stealer. Gigi's the best. Oh my God. But no, for real. You movie freaks out there, you fanatics, you genre community who are like, I'm gonna do the deep dive and listen to this. This director dropped some gems, some screen gems. Thank you for sticking. Now here's another Easter egg or three. The names on the screen for this imaginary movie, they're Brett Bachman's, my editor's cat, and Emerson Flint's a character from Werewolves Within, but you can barely see it. Don't tell anybody. And I think we put up someone's dog up there. Would you believe this was shot on a stage, that's a volume screen? It looks so good.
Ali? Hello?
Boom! Okay, y'all. Well, I think we should just restart it. What do you think? We go back to the beginning and do it all over again, from the David Lynch impression to me just walking through the deaths. This has just been a real treat. Thank you so much. Tell everybody to watch the director's commentary, because I've dropped some real gems, some real screen gems. Got 'em. I'm silly little dad to cats. Thank you so much, y'all. This was the treat. Stay single, stay safe. It's fine if you're not.